Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another SLG Meetup. Your host Alvaro, and super thrilled because today we're gonna go from Beverly Hills to the world because we're gonna have with us a dear friend of mine, Kofi Nartey. He's the CEO and founder of Global, where they specialize on luxury real estate and development for celebrities. He's also a speaker, which funny enough, we'll be speaking together at a luxury real estate conference in Las Vegas. And he's the author of the book Celebrity. Yes, celebrity. Very clever, very interesting concept on how he has built his brand to be selling millions of dollars to a very specific niche, which in this case are the famous celebrities. So excited to have him with us today and to tell us all about it. Aha, my brother, what's going on?
Hey,
How
how
are
are
you?
you?
Fantastic. So good to see you, my friend. But super thrilled to have you here with us because you have such an amazing background and everything that you've been doing. It's so in tune with what we do here at SLG.
Yes.
You specialize on luxury real estate and development for a specific niche, which in this case are the celebrities. And you've been doing some of the most incredible techniques and tactics to put yourself in that position, because to land this type of clientele and be able to sell this type of real estate takes a lot of effort. So tell us a little bit about how you got started and how did you end up getting the company global to where it is
Yes,
today?
yes. So long story short, I started in real estate about 20 years ago. And when I first started, I really focused on townhomes and condos because that's what I knew. I owned a townhome at the time. And I realized in business early on that you did have to have a specialization. I was coming out of the end of my acting career. I had played sports before that, got hurt pretty early on, but had done acting for about 10 years. And then it was getting into real
Wow.
estate. And in Los Angeles, everybody's either a real estate agent or an actor. And I was both.
There you go.
So I had to figure out a way to differentiate myself. So after I knew what I was doing with the condo market and knew about contracts, I wanted to scale and elevate my business, but not just to luxury, because luxury was still a pretty big category of competition. So I wanted to get a specific niche within that, and that became sports and entertainment, because I had the experience, I understood the lifestyle, and then I pushed that even further to say, what more can I learn? What greater expertise can I bring to that type of clientele? And then fast forward, I launched my firm, Global Red, Global Real Estate and Development, about 3 years ago. And that's after having worked with a lot of major companies, everyone from Keller Williams to the agency, Compass. I was partnered with Side. And now just this week, we announced, our partnership with the Real Brokerage, which I'm extremely excited about because that's going to help Global expand into different markets and even internationally.
100%. Well, congratulations. And I gotta tell you, everything, it's about differentiating yourself because
Yeah.
real estate as an industry is so saturated. So
Yes.
how can you stand out and how can you really build those relationships with a specific niche? And you went straight into the lifestyle, right? Understanding the lifestyle of these individuals, be part of it because that was your background, which I didn't know you were an actor. Are you still are you still using that in real estate? I mean, it's important, right? When you do these videos.
It's 100% important. There's so many tips and tools that I've learned from my acting days. And at a minimum, it's just even understanding scripts.
Mhm.
We have to
Mm.
learn sales scripts within real estate. We have to learn characters and personality traits. In business, we call them disc profiles, but in acting, it's just character development, and you understand and recognize different traits in different characters. And, so there are definitely some things that I've taken away from that over the years that I'm now able to apply to real estate. And it's kind of funny because I ended up doing a lot of cameos and real estate TV shows. But I was very
I was gonna mention that, yes.
comfortable on camera, so it made it kind of easy.
Which is fantastic, right? Because now it has become so popular, all these real estate TV shows, and you've been having appearances at Sell in LA, Million Dollar Listing, also on TV through different interviews that you've gotten. So it's about having that personality where you are comfortable in front of a camera, or if you're not comfortable, at least be able to play the role that you're supposed to be in that camera. But tell me a little bit about working with this whole category of sports and entertainment. It's not easy, right? Like, how do you connect? How do you keep on building those relationships? How do you break the bridge Because sometimes what happens is that, okay, you were an athlete or you were an actor, and now you got into real estate. How do you make these people to trust you with their real estate investments?
Well, even where I am now, so I was hoping to do this from my office, but I'm in my car because at the last minute, I was invited to the LA Chargers, the NFL team, the LA Chargers.
Yes.
So I'm in the parking lot at the football Chargers, and stop in, and I'm friends with a few of the players and a few of the coaching staff and the player engagement people. So I'll be popping over as soon as we're done. But
that's amazing.
To establish these relationships. And I think, one easy technique, I say easy, but it's easy once you have the knowledge. So one thing is understanding your niche, right? And knowing how to service them better, knowing what's different about doing a transaction for them. So for athletes and entertainers and celebrities, and even just luxury clientele, there are certain things that are common across the board. And that's professionalism, privacy, security. These are things that have become important to all of them, right? And so if you can, instead of pumping yourself up or selling yourself, give stories or examples that demonstrate your knowledge as greater than the knowledge of other people, that's the best way to establish credibility. So as an easy example, I tell a lot of stories instead of selling myself. I talk about clients where we've had to do non-disclosure agreements because, if somebody's coming in to clean the house that they're renting, we don't want them taking pictures of their Academy Awards. We don't want, so we have provisions that says someone from the household has to be there if anyone comes into the house, and, different things that we do to protect our clients and to service them better. But if you don't have that, you've got to gain that first. You have to have the knowledge first, and then you can trickle out a little bit of that knowledge. And it immediately creates credibility, like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that. I didn't think of that. And that means there are probably other things I'm not thinking about that and can help me with.
That's one of the things that we've seen a lot with people that have built already a great network. Like, let's say myself, right? I want to be a bit selfish here. I'm going into all these red carpets. I'm building amazing relationships on the lifestyle level, right? You connect on the lifestyle level. But then to take these people into your field of real estate and for them to see you as somebody that they can trust and work with for real estate, it requires some level of skills to create that credibility. And that's through the stories, that's through the examples, that's how they will feel more comfortable moving forward.
I remember when I was transitioning out of acting, that credibility piece was a bit of a challenge because the early part of my real estate career overlapped with the end of my acting career. So I would be on a movie set or a commercial set, and I was a real estate agent at the time and, had my license, and people always talk about real estate, which is the great thing about our industry. They're always talking about it. So it was easy to engage in conversation, but I knew that they weren't going to take me seriously as I'm sitting there dressed as a construction worker, or I'm sitting there dressed as the bad guy, or whatever character I was playing. So I had to explain to them that I was partnered with a team, that I was part of a group that focused on real estate for actors and athletes, and that gave me greater credibility. And I knew it was going to be me that they worked with, but if I said, hey, I can do it, they're going to look at me and say, what do you mean you can do it? You're here acting. What do you mean?
Exactly. What has been some of the hardest lessons that you've had to go through in your journey?
That's a great question. I think one way I look at things, and my wife and I, we talk about it a lot, is you have to challenge yourself to see things as they actually are versus how they appear to be. You have to see things as they actually are versus how they appear to be, and sometimes even versus how it makes you feel. Because if you can see something for what it really is, you'll be faster to the solution because you can solve what it really is, right? And so challenges in the marketplace, challenges with your business. Sometimes your business has systems challenges. But if you see it as, oh, this just isn't working and you're upset about it, it's going to be an emotional response versus, well, our system is kind of broken. We can get people to this point, but we can't get them to that point. Let's check our system. If it's the market, there's always ways to pivot in the market. because there's always opportunities in the market. Either it's a buyer's market, seller's market, it's an investor's market. There's somebody who can benefit from the market, but you have to sit back and say, okay, where's the new opportunity? And do my skills service the people that can take advantage of it? Not, can I get my skills there quickly enough to take advantage of this new market where it is now, right? So we're human. So it's okay to have an initial response to certain things like, oh, this is terrible, it sucks. Okay, it sucks, but what am I going to do about it? Now you need to regroup and start figuring out what you're going to do.
I love that. And look, you started with something that is so profound, to see things as they really are. I don't know if you know, but a few weeks ago, I was at this 10-day silent retreat that it's called Vipassana. It's the most ancient meditation technique in India. And Vipassana, what it means is to see things as they really are. Wow. And the whole process of those 10 days of silent meditation is to actually focus on seeing things as they really are. And instead of reacting, is you observe it and then you act based on what you already know, which it's basically a summary of what you were just talking about. So I was like, did you do that as well? Did you do the 10-day silent retreat or what?
Amazing. Yeah.
No, it is fantastic. 100% something that I recommend, and especially what you said is to start building that self-awareness, to start looking things as they really are and don't react. Switching things aside, because I know you're in the car, you have a game to go, which I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun, but we always ask all of our guests, what is really luxury to you?
That's such a good question. It's such a good question. And I'll start by saying there's no one answer. It's a moving target. It's sometimes situational. But I will say one word that always comes to mind is excellence. It's excellent. Because if something is excellence, it's achieved its full potential, right? Or it has come very close to its full potential. And that applies to so many things in the luxury lifestyle. When you look at, travel experiences, when you look at dining experiences, it's walking into the Ritz-Carlton or the Four Seasons and they know your name and each thing provides a pleasant surprise and the bed is made perfectly and there's turn down service and the meal that you have is prepared perfectly. The arrangement on the plate is just excellent. Everything is excellent. And I think that, as sales professionals, as service professionals, we have to strive for excellence in what we deliver to our clients. And even things that don't seem to require excellence, like rest and relaxation. The best rest you'll have is in the most excellent environment with the highest thread the count sheet of the thread, your sheets, right?
100%.
Maybe a chili pad in your bed and just things that make that overall experience even more excellent. So I think there's so many different ways to define luxury, but I'll stick with excellence for today.
I love that. No, very, very well said. And I love that. So thank you for sharing. Look, I just want to wrap this up with biggest takeaway. What is something that has helped you become the person that you are today? I see you always with a positive smile, great energy, go-getter, and doing things that a lot of people will be afraid of doing. So is there a secret sauce or something that you would like to share with us today?
It's not really a secret sauce. It's just filling your mind with the right ammunition, right? It's not easy. My life is not easy. My job's not easy. Keeping the energy in the right place, it's not easy. But I just constantly fill my mind with the right ammunition to fight the negative thoughts, to fight the challenge, to fight the things that would slow me down, cause me disappointment. And at the end of the day, I'm still human. So that means that going to continue to encounter those feelings and those emotions, but the quicker that I can apply that ammunition to those feelings, the quicker I find myself on the other side of them. So I would say continue to fill your mind with positive people, with positive information, with positive thoughts, because we're human, we're going to face challenges, but we can use that information to combat those challenges.
Ooh, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for giving that input and for sharing this knowledge with all of us, because this is definitely a very important ammunition that we need to keep on loading into ourselves so that we can face any challenge, because life is full of difficulties. The more that we can get ourselves as ammunition with positivity, the more that we'll be able to overcome those obstacles. So, my friend, thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us today.
Of
For
course.
everybody watching or listening now or later, please follow Kofi. He's amazing. What he's done is exceptional, inspirational human being, but also an amazing friend. So thank you again for everything. And I'll see you in a few days in Las Vegas.
Sounds good. I will see you next week. Thanks for having me.